Hi, welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? And I am joined by a man who's had a big dub on his chest. I mean a W, not any sort of turd reference. No, you fucking, never mind, big dub. That's because he's wearing an ICU hoodie if you're listening on demand, by the way. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Bib?
Hello, Graham. My College of Winterhold insert coin hoodie. Yeah, it fits like a glove now. It fits even better than it did before. This is glory. My wardrobe is being blown right open at this moment in time, Graham. There's clothes that didn't fit me anymore. I mean, I still can't get into the Illuvision stuff properly. That'll come with time. But we're getting there. We are getting there.
Other way for me, like, I was wearing my white Illuvision t-shirt yesterday. Shout out to Toby, by the way, for sending us those bits ages ago. I was wearing it yesterday, but they were oversized for me. And I'm slowly dropping back down to like where I was before I went on holiday. So when I first weighed myself, I was like 14 stone something. I've always been a heavy person anyway. Just fucking unit, mate. Yeah.
You can just say stocky, Graham. You know what I mean? Do yourself an injustice there.
I mean,
I've always been a stocky fella.
Yeah, heavy, stocky, whatever you call it. I'm not bothered, mate. Yeah, I've never been a big guy, but I've always been quite weighty. Yeah, anyway, I thought, you know, I'll lose a bit of that weight. I'll lose a little bit of the girth as well on the way. So I went down from like 14.4 to like 13.6 or something. And then went away, came back like 14 a million. I'm now down to like 13.11, I think it was. I just weighed myself. So halfway between where I was and where I was. So my worst and best kind of thing before I went away. So I'm not doing too bad. I've not even changed anything. I've just thought, fuck it. Yeah, let's go, baby. Also, weighed myself fully dressed as well. And I've got sweatpants on. So, you know, sweatpants weigh about 4 stone, really. So I'm probably about 9 stone now. So, yeah. So, yeah, anyway.
I've got my weigh day tomorrow. I'm dreading it.
You smash it. What were you down at? The last one I saw, you lost a stone already or something like that?
Yeah, so 16 off so far. But tomorrow I could tip down to below 300, which would be nice because that was my immediate goal. Just get down to 300 and then see how easy it's been. It's been easy, to be fair, but I've not done as much walking and as much football this week than I usually would do, which is why I'm dreading it more than anything. Come tomorrow, because Tuesday's always my weigh day. So yeah, I'm excited, but also at the same time thinking, fuck's sake, even if it's just like 0.2 off, I'll take that for the time being. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I remember probably 30 years ago, maybe 20 years ago-ish, watching, I can't remember who it was, someone in the WWE needed to get down to the weight class for the light heavyweight title or something. So they were full like Rocky Balboa sat on a bike, wrapped up in fucking cling film inside a big furry suit or something. And then finally made the cut in for the weight. But then obviously was knackered. So when they were in the match, they were doing that thing. Do you know where people run, bounce off the ropes, come out the other way, and someone lies on the belt buckle, and then they jump over them, and then they do splits over them. This person was like full on like, that's what you need to be doing today, just in case you. I mean, and tomorrow, if tomorrow's your weigh-in, we'll do that in the office. I'll just keep lying on the floor, and you can run and jump over me. Actually,
absolutely.
If you're absolutely gassed, maybe you don't want to be on the floor.
No, I will get over you. Do not worry yourself. Do not worry yourself. I'm just looking at who I weigh the same. I weigh the same as Mick Foley at this moment in time. So that's nice. I mean, I don't know if this is prime Rick Foley, but I'm also lighter now than Dusty Rhodes, and he was a big fella.
I think you're probably lighter than Andre the Giant as well. I'm going to hazard that as a guess. I think that's pretty safe to say. You're probably lighter than the Big Show. I kind of think of other people that are extremely massive.
Ray Dudley was 326. I mean, he is 6'4", but I never would have put him doon as that weight.
Is that high? See, I don't know in just like I can do stones, pounds, but I'm assuming that's 326 pounds. If it is,
yeah,
I don't know. That's
about 23 stone.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, something like that.
It looked like he carried it well though. Like I would have said Bubba Ray was always a heavy dude, but carried it well. He was kind of a bit of a unit. I mean, yeah, that Spike Dudley though. I mean, he's got to be 328 easy. Maybe 32.8. We'll see.
326. Yeah, 23 stone is 326 pounds.
There you go. Anyway, if you're just joining in, welcome to Weight Loss with ICU. My name is Graham. This is Babe. Hey, how you doing? Didn't mean to go that way, but this is the way we go. Do you know what? This is a video game podcast, but sometimes we talk about what's affecting our lives as well. And being healthy affects everyone's lives, so I'm sure you can understand. But hey, how you doing? Welcome into the stream, JMK. I see you. We see you. I see you. You see us. I see you. The time is currently 11:23 and 30 seconds AM for Ice Cream Uploads, which is basically 10 AM-ish. It is correct. The time is now 11:34 in the UK, but we are live at 10 a.m.-ish, so we'll take that. Remember that cabinet that I saved from falling? I do, Link. You told me last week. I'm on sick leave now because my back hurts.
Oh, blimey.
No, man.
That's a big no.
Is that good news, babe?
No.
No, I didn't think so either. What about you, Nietzsche? What would you say about that?
Brexit.
Yeah, I agree as well. Thanks, mate. Okay, Mr. Pout Pout, how would you categorise catching a big, heavy cabinet?
Just dumb stuff.
Yeah, me too. Yes, I'd agree. Yeah, completely. Same. I'm on a day off after a 2-day stag. Nice.
Oof.
Bibby was saying I was probably still steaming last night. I was actually really good. The only thing is, I'm old. So basically, I went out on Saturday, had beers, woke up, no hangover, no nothing, perfectly fine. However, I know
where this is going.
I was throwing shapes, lots of shapes, and today I realise I have knees. No, I feel like I need to be like Prime Stone Cold Steve Austin, a knee brace on each leg at this point. Yeah. Fuck. So yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily hit me in the morning anymore. It's as the day progresses, it gets to like 1 p.m. and you're thinking, oh god, it's nearly bedtime soon, and you look, it is 1 p.m., not 6 p.m. that you genuinely thought it was. But yeah, it ggets me towards the end of the day now rather than in the morning.
Oh no, I was fine. Like I got a decent night's sleep. I mean, I didn't get up till 10, so that helped, obviously. But like well rested, got shitloads of water before I went to sleep. We had some like lamb kebab meatball-y thing. So I was eating well. I mean, I was eating a shitload yesterday, to be fair, as well. My hangover trait is to just eat. If it's not like gorging a McDonald's or something like that, it's just eating constantly throughout the day. So I ate a lot of shit yesterday. But apart from that, it was perfectly fine. But yeah, the knees. My old knees. Because I like to throw shapes. And once I start throwing shapes, the shapes continue to be thrown. So I was on the dance floor for like 2 hours. It's not a long time. But it's when you're an old man like me, so...
Did you go to Manchester?
No, it was just a local thing. So it was mate's birthday. Well, Danielle's mate's birthday.
Right.
So we went birthday party, and then it was like everything from cheesy disco to fucking whatever. So it was basically like wedding playlist sort of stuff. So absolute cheesy shapes, right? Yes, I was interrupting my daughter's TikToks. She had a phone on the stage, dancing to the cha-cha slide. And I know the cha-cha slide. Slide to the left. Fucking straight in front of them in the camera. Let's go.
Fucking dead right.
So yeah, fun times. Cookies, good morning. Are you wearing a New York Yankees jersey? I am. I picked this up from the Yankees club shop in Times Square. The good old Yankees. Big fan of the Yankees. So yeah, when I was in New York, I picked this up. So yeah. Spidge, hi. Good morning, Mr. Pitch. How are you diddling? Have you seen that you are no longer the top of the Double Trouble leaderboard? You were usurped. I think the very next game it might have been, actually. TABLE. There is the link. That is the current Double Trouble League leaderboard right there. So Tank got 21 points. So that slow game that we had, you said it might not be enough. You were right. So Tank had a decent game. 11 kills. So you're gonna have to try again. I think you need more of those talking recording things.
No,
says Bib. No, I need loads.
Yes.
Nice. I do need loads. I mean, I've got space for another 8, 9. So yeah, when good stuff happens and stuff, yeah, I'll take it. But for now, speaking of good stuff, let me jump over into the split screen. Is Bibby at home? Is in the studio? He's at home.
Yeah, we had one on Friday, didn't we? So
yeah.
Predetermined.
Lovely. So yes, if you are new here, this is the Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast. If we do say so ourselves, we are live for the next hour or so, bringing you the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. We'll give you our thoughts and impressions on all of those stories, but we want to hear your thoughts and impressions if you are watching along. Then your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. That's kind of how the whole thing works. So if you are in the stream, we are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, where we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.
Ish. All right, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that. 11:39 now. We've been live for like 20 minutes-ish, so yeah, that's bang on-ish. Anyway, we may be live on Twitch, but if you are in the stream, please do feel free to get involved, and it's important that you do, because we may be live, but the live stream is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast, and completely brain farted then. iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play, lots of places where over 200,000 people have watched and listened to this podcast on demand. So please do feel free to jump in with your thoughts and impressions on behalf of those that can't be here with us live. Also, if you are watching live on Twitch, please do feel free to sub to the channel. You don't have to. You get all viewing free. We don't lock any of our streams behind paywalls or anything. So do feel free to jump in.
Yet,
yeah. I mean that may happen. That may happen. You know, Patreon stuff like that or whatever. You never know. But right now, everyone gets everything. The only thing is, if you're a sub to the channel, you will get ad-free viewing, access to our remotes, and you also get entered into our monthly sub-only giveaway, which is called the Loot Drop. We get something, maybe something from our cool cupboard of tricks, maybe a game from one of the friends that we have in the video games industry, or maybe some ICU merch. Who knows? But the first Monday of every month, we pick someone to win a prize and get that prize shipped out. This month, it was Mark Beta One who got a copy of, was it Aliens Dark Descent? He got this. It time?
Was Aliens Dark Descent, yeah.
Nice. So just be a sub, and it doesn't matter if you pay for that or not. It could be a Prime sub that you get free with your Amazon Prime subscription. So feel free to subscribe. You do not have to, though. Nice. Also, shout out to the sponsors, ! Astro, ! GT Omega. Also, just want to point out, I was having a conversation with Baby in the messages the other day. We're going to need to switch things up because we're Astro partners, but technically, we are now Logitech G partners. So you might see some changes to our branding. Look, just above me there where it says Astro. It's gone now. Insert coins above my head. Astro, Blue, Logitech G, they're all part of the same brand. And Logitech's going, well, why do we need so many different brands all in the same space? God damn. So they are consolidating their lines. So everything's becoming Logitech G. So we're going to start changing things up. And you'll start to see some Logitech G logos on our stuff. That's why. Nice.
Yeah.
I get everything. One Rolls Royce, please. Tito's got it for you. It's fine. He's a Tory. He's got like 6 of them. Easy.
Hey, shout out to Tito for jumping into Fortnite last night, well outside his comfort zone. But he saw the boys on and was like, do you know what? I want a slice of this action. Managed to kill someone, managed to scoop up our cards, go to a reboot van. Like, I know he might not have enjoyed himself, but me and the boys definitely enjoyed having him around.
I didn't enjoy watching him.
Oh
no, it was terrible. Like, it's the voice, the gameplay, everything. He's commented on the fact that I'm wearing pajamas, so I thought I'll get in there first. No, fair play. I watched him lose his one virginity. He started off as a level 1, and I saw him get to level 2 before I dropped out. So yeah,
big dub.
Yeah. Why is Graham wearing his pajamas? Does he think he's Haaland or something? I wish. Good morning, Tito. Also, all the games in the world. Yeah, Tito's got them for you as well, mate. Speaking about all the games in the world, we've got all of the news in the world. I say in the world, just UK, because we know we can't comment on anything outside the UK because
Brexit.
Yeah, exactly. Nietzsche, thanks, mate. No, we have a story for you. Microsoft has announced a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. It's happened. So we said this would always happen. Call of Duty was staying on PlayStation. Microsoft would buy Activision Blizzard. Everyone will be happy with everything. No, okay, maybe not everything forever, but Call of Duty is staying put. And then we'll jump into a separate story, which I imagine comes off the back of that one. I haven't read anything on this story, but this is Microsoft is reportedly considering selling some UK cloud gaming rights. Don't know what that's about, so we'll jump into that. Then we'll jump into a fact that the GTA 6 hacker has been deemed unfit to stand trial. So all of that GTA 6 stuff that was leaked unceremoniously, I think was it last year or was it earlier this year? I think
it was late last year, I think.
Yeah, I thought so, but I wouldn't have put my hat on it. I couldn't remember quite exactly. Anyway, whoever it was, that person, they're not fit to stand trial. Yeah, mate. And then after that, a game that we did play on stream, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. There is
Heroes in a Half Shell.
Better power. Nice.
There we go.
There is DLC for it, which we will run through towards the end of the show. But for now, jumping in a story from Jordan Midler at BGC. Did you see this over the weekend that Microsoft has announced a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation?
Well, even if it didn't, Graham, we could stay up to date with all the video game latest news in our Discord.
Yeah, where this news article was posted. See that? Not only padding, giving me the time to get stuff ready, but absolutely throws a hook in there as well. You love to see it. So the tagline for this story says, "We look forward to a future where players globally have more choice to play their favourite games." What, they want people to play PUBG? Nice, let's go. So Phil Spencer has announced that Microsoft and PlayStation have signed a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation following the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. While little is known about the terms of the agreement or how long it will last, it puts to bed one of the biggest hurdles in Microsoft's prolonged acquisition of the Call of Duty publisher. Microsoft President Brad Smith said, quote, "From day one of this acquisition, we've been committed to addressing the concerns of regulators, platform and game developers and consumers. Even after we cross the finish line for this deal's approval, we will remain focused on ensuring that Call of Duty remains available on more platforms and for more consumers than ever before," end quote. Although several Microsoft figures testified that the idea of making Call of Duty exclusive was never on the table, it remained a sticking point for the PlayStation maker. Call of Duty is regularly the best-selling game of the year, and even if full exclusivity was off the table, the prospect of the game entering Xbox Game Pass at launch for a comparably tiny fee was one of PlayStation's largest issues with the deal. Yesterday, a US court denied the Federal Trade Commission's, or the FTC's, request to further halt Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard, paving the way for the deal to close. Earlier this week, the Xbox firm won a court battle with the FTC, which is seeking to block a deal over antitrust concerns. Microsoft can now close the deal after the current restraining order expired at 11:59 p.m. PT on Friday. Oof. I mean, it's almost like we called this ages ago. Weirdly, I still don't get people in the industry, like particularly people in the news. I keep seeing people referring to this as finally it's done, like it's some sort of lingering churn that's just there hanging over you and interrupting everything and stopping you from enjoying your life and stuff. And it's like, I mean, Call of Duty is still being released. People are still playing Call of Duty. We get access to it from our friends at Activision, so that is still going. But what we have been getting is shitloads of news that we wouldn't get, stats and figures that we wouldn't get. So anyway, bizarrely, the industry, apart from Ice Cream Uploads, it seems, has been annoyed by this ongoing story. I've absolutely loved seeing stuff like this play out because we get access to stuff that we don't usually get to see. But the conclusion that we all, well, me and Bib expected was that Call of Duty would stay on PlayStation despite eventually being owned by Microsoft. We are at that point. Bib, thoughts?
Sorry, I was just looking at Tito's comment. It says, yeah, but we have to pay for it. We want free stuff on Game Pass. Yeah, you will. And I think the biggest breakdown of that, and it's something that I've kind of come to the conclusion of, is that I think there's going to be a tiered Game Pass system when obviously Microsoft does end up bringing this. It's all been formalized. I can't see this being formalized for like the next 3 months because there's just going to be so much red tape around this. The fact that they've now got approval to potentially go ahead and get this done. There's going to be so much paperwork and so many conversations that need to be had now. Things have started to move forward. I can't see this being done anytime soon. But the fact of the matter is, I think there's going to be a tiered system for us to be able to play Game Pass because they need to bring this money back in somehow, and they're not going to be able to do that just on people's subscriptions over on Game Pass. They've obviously still got the deal now in place that the PlayStation Mandem and potentially the Nintendo consoles over the next 5 to 10 years are obviously going to be getting a form of Call of Duty, whether or not it's going to be exclusive Call of Duty titles on those platforms, and then PlayStation and Nintendo only get like every second one or something. I'm not too sure. I don't know how they're going to do it. But you might end up paying a £12 fee for Game Pass and then a £17 fee for Game Pass Plus or Game Pass Premium or something along those lines where you get more for more money, essentially. I can definitely see myself getting the premium pass if that's the case, because I still think now I am robbing them with the measly £12 a month that I'm giving them to be able to play Game Pass. I feel like there's easily £30 worth of content there. Let's not say that too loud because they might end up start charging £30. But the amount of games, titles, and time that you could potentially spend on Game Pass playing through the games that they've got there, either first party or third party titles, is definitely the biggest bang for buck that you're going to get in video games. So yeah, like you was mentioning before, this case has been we already knew the end game. We already knew what this was going to be by the very start of it. However, it's very much like the Epic and Apple case that we'd had over Fortnite 2 years ago. Like, the amount of stuff that came out of those cases that we never would have been able to see what's underneath the hood. We've got some massive insight here that either people can use to their advantage or just have that as a stat. Okay, we need to have this many people playing it in this region, or this many people are playing it on this console. We need to try and up it with whatever it is that we need to do. That is all invaluable information that we have got as a consumer that we never would have had had the curtain not have been pulled back. So
that
cases
Epic
like
versus
this are,
Apple case, we got to see how much Epic paid for not Red Dead, Grand Theft Auto, and a bunch of other games to get them exclusively early to release exclusively on Epic on PC for a set amount of time, or to release for free after they've been out for a few years. Oh, this week's free game Friday is Grand Theft Auto. We got to see the figures that Epic paid to multiple different developers. We would never have got that money. You don't see that sort of stuff. And yeah, similarly, this time we've got to see how much it cost to make Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, we shouldn't have done, but stupid lawyers this time fucked that shit up. But still, it led to us seeing it. We saw how much it cost for was it The Last of Us Part 1 remake? The Horizon Zero Dawn next gen upgrade or stuff. Yeah, we saw loads of stuff that we shouldn't have seen.
Did you mention the free games on Epic then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I got Okay, yeah. So it's the amount of curtain pulling back here that we've been able to see over the last 3 or 4 years in the video games industry. I mean, it moves at such a pace that you can't really keep up. Things change left, right, and centre. So even for us, who brings you the news maybe 5 times a week, it's quite difficult to try and keep your finger on the pulse with how many times a day these kind of these legal situations can change. They are genuinely so fluid. So it's nice to start to see a conclusion, albeit it was one that most people would have seen from an absolute mile away, because ultimately, obviously, PlayStation want Call of Duty to be playable on their console because it is such a money churner, and that's all it comes down to. Regardless, it comes down to money, and if their profit margins are going to be sliced considerably, like it wasn't even going to be close with how much money that they would have lost with this, it just makes sense for them to be able to come around a table, shake a couple of hands, do a little bit of paperwork, and say, okay, we might end up charging you this amount to have it on your console, but you're going to make this amount back, and just have at it. Like, that is the only logical way that this deal would have ever gone through properly, where all parties concerned are either slightly happy, remotely happy, or over the fucking moon that this has finally got over the line.
I am interested to see, because, and this is where now I start thinking about where this goes for the future. Obviously, when these conversations were happening, me and Bibby were already having conversations saying, yeah, well, PlayStation are going to get it. They're going to keep it on there, and they're going to keep feature parity, and Xbox will get held up in court, but then they'll find a way of pushing it through. We called all of that stuff. So I'm now thinking about trying to call the next stuff, and I feel like Call of Duty will be released on Xbox and PlayStation same day, and there'll be some sort of price parity as well, whether that's people with Game Pass having to pay for it or not, or it coming free, but then also coming free on PlayStation Plus Premium or whatever. But I feel like there is something in there. There's a caveat somewhere where Xbox suddenly start going, well, this is our product. We've paid all this money. We've got to earn some back. And we saw that with the Bethesda deal in terms of, yeah, we'll keep all of the games. We want people to continue to play the games that they love where they play them, which is a very clever way of saying the games that you love are the games that exist. The games that don't exist, you don't know if you love them yet, so we can put them wherever we want. And we started to see games only coming on Xbox and so on. The fact that they've got a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation doesn't mean that they're going to keep everything that Call of Duty does. So we got Modern Warfare remastered. People are going, oh, give us Modern Warfare 2 remastered. Oh, that'd be amazing. I can see Microsoft going, oh yeah, of course, we're going to release Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 on PlayStation and Xbox. Jobs are good and nice. Also, if you get it on Xbox, you get access to COD Modern Warfare 2 remastered.
Why was it not called COD Warfare?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, disappointed. Do you know what? I can't believe they've never thought of that. Fucking COD Warfare. Let's go. So yeah, we'll release COD Warfare 2 on Xbox, but only for Xbox players. You get it for free if you get the game, you play the game on Xbox. And that's where PlayStation are going, yeah, but that's... Wait. And Xbox said, no, we did a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. It is on PlayStation. This is the history. This isn't Call of Duty. This is COD and Warfare. This is different. This is a side thing. This isn't the main game. You wanted feature parity, day and date release stuff. You've got that. This is a separate game. And I don't know where that sits in my mind in terms of, do I see Xbox doing that? I'm not sure. Can I see that's been something that Xbox do? Yeah, absolutely. Can I see that be something that Xbox don't want to do? Also, absolutely. So I don't quite know. I feel like it could be, whether it's DLC, whether it's extra modes, or so on. I don't think it'll be stuff like that, DLC extra modes, because they've got the binding agreement to try and keep them the same. But I believe something else. Warzone technically is a different game. You download it kind of separately, and well, you did originally. Obviously, the lines are a bit more blurred and stuff now. But they're keeping Call of Duty on PlayStation. Are they keeping Warzone on PlayStation? I mean, it's that sort of stuff. Like, without seeing the actual terms, the written agreement. And even then, when you see it, how people interpret that can be different from what you think it means and what they want it to mean, kind of thing. So, this is business, and it's been done under the best pretenses of positive cooperation, allowing gamers to players globally to have more choice to play their favorite games, is what they're saying. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, proof is in the pudding. That is true. As we've said this before, that's true when they say it. Phil Spencer and the Xbox teams have said that now, and that's what they mean right now. Tomorrow is a different day, so what that message means to them then could be different. They're not lying right now, and they wouldn't have been lying then, but things change. Time is the difference. So, be interesting to see how that cookie crumbles, because Xbox have spent £69 billion on something, and if that doesn't start moving the needle, if people are continuing to buy PlayStation games on PlayStation, including Call of Duty, and smashing the numbers and increasing that gap to 3, maybe even 4 times the amount of consoles and stuff sold, Xbox then might be going, okay, well, we now need to think about how we're changing this up now, because we want them. Well, the binding agreement will keep them in the game. But how do we make it so that we're in the game now? So, yeah, be interesting to see. But we have to pay for it. We want free stuff on Game Pass, ! Game Pass, says Tito, which brings up in the chat. Did you know that if you have an Xbox, you can get Game Pass where for a low monthly fee of £12.99, and you get access to hundreds of games, including day one releases, and even EA, Ubisoft, and Activision Blizzard games. Plus, you can even get the first 3 months for £1 Xbox Plus. I don't know if you saw, but tiers could be coming. They're already rumoured to replace Games with Gold with Game Pass Core. To be honest, I thought Games with Gold was dead and haven't used one in years. It could just be a rebrand, but who knows? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Games with Gold, for those that don't know or haven't been around Xbox for a while, there used to be Xbox Live. Silver and Gold. Silver was what you got given. Gold was what you paid for. And you needed Gold to play online. But when you bought Xbox Live Gold, you got free games every month, twice a month, just to be confusing, so that you had to log in 2 different times and get stuff for free. No, absolutely not confusing. Oh, anyway, that still exists. The games are usually a bit turgid. You've probably never heard of most of them. There may be a banger here and there, but nobody really knows because nobody checks it out anymore, because anyone that's got an Xbox really has Game Pass. So they're looking at rebranding that to be Game Pass Core, which I understand. Brand consolidation, rebranding it, streamlining things, making them less confusing, like PlayStation absolutely, definitely did with their PlayStation Plus rebrand. Oh, wait, no, that just got confusing as fuck. But the logic was there. So I understand that. It's just whether they start charging that differently and trying to change functions, because Xbox already pissed people off trying to get rid of Games with Gold and changing Game Pass to be get Xbox Live-y sort of stuff. It was only 18 months ago, 2 years ago, wherever it was, where Xbox had to do a full 180, change course, apologise and change things up because they were pissing on people that didn't want Game Pass. So it'd be interesting to see how they actually approach that. Whether they just go, fuck it, no, we had the right idea all along, we give you 18 months extra, but we're changing it now. Or whether they tried to still keep that as a separate entity, or whether it is just a rebrand. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. But moving ahead, sticking with Xbox though, so not going too far. This story I haven't read in the slightest, so I'm going to be learning with you guys. This is Tom Ivan at VGC this time. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to have a drink of coffee.
Get them coffee, baby. Big slurp.
I can see it sat there. Do you know, like when you've got like one mouth left, and it's like, if I read this story and whatever, it'll be freezing by the time I get to it. So I just needed to get it down me now. So
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Microsoft is reportedly considering selling some UK cloud gaming rights, is the title from Tom Ivan at VGC. The tagline says the company believes the move could help it seal regulatory approval for its Activision merger. So Microsoft is reportedly considering selling some of its UK cloud gaming rights in a bid to gain regulatory approval for its $69 billion Activision Blizzard acquisition. According to Bloomberg sources, the company could sell the cloud-based market rights. What? West! There's no message. Wow. He did have a message, but it got cut off. Do you know why?
Brexit.
Yeah, I thought so. Thanks, Nietzsche. Thanks, mate. West, thank you very much for 34 months, you beautiful man. How you doing, love? Hey. I'm actually disappointed because I've not seen West's face on stream for a million years. And I'm pretty sure I saw him tweet the other day that he's not going to be back till September, pretty much. That's like forever away. God damn, that's like 2 months. Honestly.
You jumped to the stream last night. You know what I mean? Still no face. No face available. Brexit.
Yeah.
Brexit.
Exactly. Boo. Boo. Although he did try to be nice. He did try to redeem the Double Trouble game for someone else to have a go on Saturday. He wasn't at his Xbox, so he couldn't jump in, but he tried to redeem it for someone else. But everyone was like, nah, that's it. Tank set the score. I'm too scared. I don't want to throw down, so I give him his points back in the end. What a guy. All right, baby, how do you say anchovies? Anchovies?
Anchovies?
Anchovies. As in, like, the fish. I wouldn't say anchovies. I'd say anchovies. Like, I wouldn't go for the hard, or it'd be like anchovies.
I would. Anchovies. Yeah.
Who's she?
But that's just because I'm a fucking idiot.
Anchovies.
Anchovies.
Sounds like the local MP. Yeah, Anchovies is the local Lib Dem candidate. She lives, a couple of streets away. Local lady trying to do good for the local community. But yeah, big anchovies, nice. Anyway, enough of anchovies.
No.
Okay. According to Bloomberg sources, the company could sell the cloud-based market rights for games in the UK to a telecommunications, gaming, or internet-based computing company, or possibly a private equity firm. The UK's CMA blocked the Activision deal in April due to concerns about its impact on the nascent cloud gaming market. Microsoft had been scheduled to appeal the decision in a court case beginning on July the 28th, but earlier this week, the Xbox maker and the CMA paused legal proceedings with a view to reaching an out-of-court agreement. Microsoft wants to complete the transaction before the current merger agreement expires on July the 18th, after which Activision Blizzard could walk away with a $3 billion termination fee if an extension isn't agreed. Imagine that. Activision just went, fuck this shit, I'm out, took $3 billion and went over to PlayStation. Let's go, boys! In a research note to investors this week, Wedbush Securities analysts Nick Mackay and Michael Pachter predicted Microsoft will make cloud gaming concessions in the UK that enable it to complete the deal before next week's deadline. Quote, we believe Microsoft can carve out Game Pass UK PLC as a separate operating subsidiary with an independent board charged with keeping Activision content off the Game Pass platform pending the conclusion of Microsoft's appeal of the CMA decision, they wrote. This would likely satisfy the CMA, and the deal should close by next Tuesday, end quote. While the regulator has said it's ready to consider a structured deal proposal, it has also warned that this process may require it to carry out a fresh merger investigation. Earlier this week, Microsoft won a court battle with the FTC, which cleared a path for it to complete the acquisition of the FTC. We know, we just been over that. Okay, so I'm struggling to understand this because this is business. This is games, but business. So Microsoft is going to set up a separate company and call it Game Pass PLC or something like Game Pass UK PLC is what they could potentially do, and then operate under that to ensure that it's different business, not operating with the same aim as Microsoft, but operating as a separate company as Game. I don't understand. What is the difference? Like, it's like a rose by any other name would still smell as sweet kind of thing. A Microsoft with any other name would still be trying to flog you Game Pass and get Call of Duty for its users and stuff. I don't understand what the significance is of renaming that. Does anybody with a bigger brain than me understand? Bib, thoughts?
So, yeah, well, you're coming to me with this one. The way I see it is, it seems like they are willing to accept a loss in some instances with their cloud gaming service to show that they can play ball. That's what I'm getting from this. So that if they have, I don't know, $100 million worth of assets, they're willing to sell 35% of them to show that they can play ball and work well with everybody else, to share the load essentially, so that they're not looking after everything and monopolizing it. That's how I see it from this. Again, it's big brain stuff, but my immediate thought reading this and what I've seen on social media over the last day or so, that's my conclusion that I've come to this. It could be completely way off, but yeah, that's what I've come to the conclusion of. Just to try and get this Activision Activision Blizzard merger over the line.
Big fan of the Activision Blizzard. They make COD and Warfare, right?
Absolutely.
Yep, if the UK CMA had issues with Microsoft monopolising the cloud services market, then this could allay some of those fears. Yeah, it just seems a bit bizarre. So we don't want you to monopolise the market. You need to take Activision content and put that in a different company called Game Pass UK PLC, which will be owned and operated by Microsoft. It's still a separate operating subsidiary, but it's, even if it is a separate company, it's still going to be owned by Microsoft. It's like, mate, you're a separate company, aren't you? It looks over at Microsoft. Microsoft nods, and it turns back at you and then goes, yes, yes, I am. And it's just like, it's one of those weird legal loopholes. It's like, you're definitely different, aren't you? And it's just nods in Microsoft. It's like, so yeah, it's one. I mean, clearly that ticks some governmental paperwork. I mean, I do understand. So, I know the background coming into this is that the CMA wants to make sure that cloud gaming does not get monopolized. If Microsoft has the strongest systems, which it pretty much does, because it's Xbox is Microsoft, Microsoft is a beast. So they've already got cloud stuff already set up. Some of it for terrible programs like Teams and stuff. Good morning, Tiny Yoda. Welcome in. Actually, good afternoon. Enix Alrit. So yeah, Microsoft already has infrastructure, and now it has content. So if it has exclusive access to infrastructure and it has exclusive access to the biggest and best content, that is very, very close to monopolizing. That's two of the biggest components that you can get to have a monopoly there. All it needs then is to secure pricing, and you've got access, content, and cost all locked in. That's pretty much it. They've got everything they need for monopolizing the market there. So they're saying, okay, well, you've got the access, but if you give the content to someone else and don't just keep that to yourself, then that's fine. So I assume what the CMA wants then is Game Pass UK PLC to be operating as a separate subsidiary, and then that will sell its content to Microsoft, Xbox, and sell its content to, what's it called? The NVIDIA one. GeForce Now, that's it. GeForce Now and Luna and PlayStation and so on. So the idea is that company then sells its content everywhere and doesn't allow Microsoft to keep its hand on the steering wheel, but it's still a subsidiary of Microsoft. That's the thing that kind of like it's like you're in the same business, but you've just listed it off one desk and put it on another desk, and for me, it's the same.
It's like trading as ice cream uploads, despite being owned by Jelly.
Yeah, exactly.
Just passing off just moving all of our Jelly Media stuff over to ice cream uploads and trading as that name instead.
So it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I mean, that would likely satisfy the CMA. If that's all it takes to satisfy the CMA, then really, did you need to postpone it? Because are you just wanting a big wad of cash in a brown envelope, CMA? Is that what it is? I mean, it's the UK government, so yeah, probably that is what it is. Nice. So yeah, there you go. That is where we are. Microsoft's cloud gaming rights basically are up in the air for monopolistic reasons because someone wants paid. That's what it is. From what I've just read, as a subsidiary, Microsoft can only hold 50% of it, so technically there is a third party with the other 50%. But how do they decide who gets that? Does that just go open and people can bid on shares and they can just buy them off you if they hit the right price? I don't know. Is it a private sale? Can PlayStation go, we'll take 50% of your Game Pass, thank you? Like, blah. What? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough on that. So it's an interesting one. I mean, no doubt there will be updates, particularly from VGC. They've been finger on the pulse with the CMA situation regarding Game Pass. So we will keep you up to date with their updates once we get updates that keep us up to date. Nice.
Yeah.
Brexit.
Nice. Okay, we'll put a pin in that one then. So Microsoft have had a busy weekend. They are just about to buy Activision Blizzard. The deadline is tomorrow. I think it was saying in this kind of stuff there. So it's pretty much done. So it'd be interesting to see how the final ripples, if any, emerge. Nice, sir.
Nice.
How we diddling, Yoda? Are you good? Enix, what you doing? How's your day going? Lake says, Papa Roach getting away with merger. 50% or 51%. If they were only allowed to retain 50%, they'd have no overall control potentially. Imagine if they could only own like 50% and PlayStation just bought the other 50. Imagine that. Ooh. Chappers, good morning. Good afternoon.
Morning, Shag.
Good afternoon. Applying for jobs. Got a month left to find one. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah. Do you believe you can do it, Bib?
No.
Oh, that's a bit harsh. Fucking hell. What? I mean, it's quite difficult to find a job in today's world, to be fair, isn't it, Nietzsche? Why would you say that is?
Brexit.
Okay, thanks, mate. Yeah, nice. 50 plus 1 ownership model from the Bundesliga, but from micro and cloud rights. Bundesligma.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling it all the time now. Ligma 1 and Ligma. Nice. Anyway, we'll put a pin in that story. This one. Vikki Blake over at Eurogamer has this story. GTA 6 hacker has been deemed unfit to stand trial. The teen has been threatened to release GTA 6's source code in a Slack message, say prosecutors. So the teenager charged with hacking and then blackmailing a string of companies, including Uber, Nvidia, and GTA 6 developer Rockstar, has been deemed unfit to stand trial. 18-year-old Arian Kurtage? That guy.
You've nailed it.
Nice. Thought so. Perfect. Who was 17 as part of the Lapsus hacking group. Who was 17 when, as part of the Lapsus hacking group, they leaked dozens of assets from the then unannounced Grand Theft Auto 6. A standing trial for 12 offences, including 3 counts of blackmail, 2 counts of fraud, and 6 counts under the Computer Misuse Act. According to Reuters, the teenager hacked Rockstar and sent a Slack message to all Rockstar staff threatening to release the source code. A second teenager, who at 17 has not been named, has also been charged with 2 counts of blackmail, 2 counts of fraud, and 3 charges under the Computer Misuse Act, although they are not thought to have been involved in hacking Rockstar games. Reuters says the teenager has now been, quote, assessed by psychiatrists as not fit to stand trial, end quote, and a jury will determine if Kurtage is guilty, but instead... will not determine if Kurtage is guilty, but instead decide if they did or did not commit the acts. Kurtage has previously pleaded guilty to 1 count of fraud and 2 offences under the Computer Misuse Act, as well as breaching bail conditions. The enormous Grand Theft Auto 6 leak of work in progress development materials occurred on last September. There you go, Bibby on the ball. He knows. Leaking 90 plus screenshots and videos. In a statement published when the company returned to work, Rockstar admitted it had suffered a, quote, network intrusion, end quote, a hack from which the early development footage of GTA 6 had been taken, and acknowledged it was extremely disappointed at what had happened. Interesting. This is the thing. This is the thing when you're reporting on ongoing court cases. You only get given set amounts of information. So we don't know why this person has been deemed unfit to stand trial. All we know is that they are just unfit. They are not going to be there. They're not. It's now not a case of whether they're guilty or not. It's just a case of whether they did it or not. Is that not the same thing? And so that's, yeah. So they will not determine if he's guilty, but instead if they did or did not commit the act. If you did commit the act, is that not guilt?
Yeah.
Bizarre.
The top. I hate stuff like this because obviously it's gone down to he's got to a point where his mental capacity has just completely shrunk and just doesn't exist anymore, and he's not been deemed fit to trial. Wait until he's fit and ready to be able to stand trial, because there is no way that this person at some point in time, whether or not it be years time, whether or not it be 2 years time, will not be able to stand and give his side of the story. Like, this person's blackmailing multi-billion-pound companies to be able to get some money from them in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't sit right with me, this, because them doing what they did, robbing source code, is theft and then extortion and then blackmail. Like, they need to be held accountable at somewhere down the line. They cannot get off with this for the sake of them not being able to stand trial. At some point in time, they will be able to, and that's when they should have to go to court for it. For that time, they need to go and get help, which it seems like they are doing because obviously he's had a mental evaluation. Go and get help, and then at some point, you will have to face the charges that you've been brought forward. If they were successful and they extorted, they would be living life somewhere else because they're evading the police. Like, that's just how this works. They're not being paid off for it. They're trying to extort someone. That's a criminal offence, regardless of the mental capacity that you are currently feeling. So, yeah, at some point or another, regardless of the outcome of this, they're fighting to see whether or not they are guilty or not. That's what it is. You're either guilty or you're not.
Yeah.
I think they are. They've extorted someone.
I mean, so Chapper says, so by deemed unfit, do they mean he's mentally unwell or he's just a bit too big to get into the witness box? Well, at least the article did say he's been assessed by a psychiatrist as not fit to stand trial. So like Tiny Yoda says, I don't think they're fat shaming him. So it is mental because the psychiatrists have been involved. But in what sense? Like, is it a case of the high-profile nature of the court case for someone that's only just turned 18? Is it the pressure of knowing that he's potentially got billions of dollars of damage and so on? Because if it's like, I mean, the high profile nature of the court case, I kind of understand, but then again, you went after a high profile client, so it's kind of like if you don't want the smoke, don't play with fire, kind of thing, eh? So there's that sort of thing. But the other bit is like, most people that are looking at life sentences for committing some of the most heinous crimes in the world, when looking at life sentences, probably feel some form of remorse and resentment for the fact that they're in it. So I imagine if a psychiatrist speaks to most people that are looking at life in prison, they're probably not in the best mental state because you've just collapsed your life. So I don't understand it. It. So
I mean, it sounds horrible when you're saying it out loud, but essentially, like, they've not tried to rob a local porn store. They are trying to rob Fort Knox. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, they are two completely different things, and they have not gone to try and take down an indie company. They have tried to take down Rockstar, who make the most in-demand, money-churning game that there is out there.
And
what did they think was going to happen?
There is multiple facets of it as well. So not only did they break into it, they broke into it, extracted numerous bits of information, shared some of it online, and then posted messages in their Slack saying they will do even more. So there was multiple steps of this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, at an extremely high level. Like Bibby says, they weren't going into the local newsagents going, give me what you've got in the till. It's probably going to be a float of less than 200 quid plus whatever you've made in the last few hours since you took your till off. So 500 quid tops, maybe. No, this is hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions is probably what they were looking at. If you went after millions of dollars from the Federal Reserve in the States, that's a federal crime. You would be looking at some fucking long time in prison. So doing that off of a digital Federal Reserve is the same. So yeah, it's a weird one.
They're not sorry. They're sorry that they've been caught, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and they've tried their best to get out of it. I mean, I'm not saying that he's faking it. I'm saying that his head's gone because he knows full well that this is way bigger than him, and they have been caught doing something stupid. They know full well they're probably going to spend the vast majority of their life behind bars now, and I imagine that probably does take a massive toll on your mental health, knowing that you'll never breathe fresh air again as a free person. But I mean, you've done the crime, mate. You're extorting people.
Yeah, but you can see it in 3-year-old children. If a 3-year-old child, if you tell them not to do something, like you always see that thing of like where they leave kids in a room and they put a sweet on the table and say don't eat it, and they see if the kid eats it, kind of thing. And then they go, okay, yeah, but then afterwards, if you start threatening them with punishment, that they're about to do something naughty, you're going to sit on the naughty step for 2 hours, you're going to lose this toy, you're going to whatever, then all of a sudden, you can see the remorse and the guilt, and I'm sorry, and I didn't mean it. I mean, it starts to affect their mental state. That's literally something that all people have. So, that being... Like, he's unfit to stand trial because he reacts like every other person to bad news. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I say, it could be something significant. Without knowing the information, these are the sort of, like, extrapolations that we get to. Like, we don't actually know what the problem is here. All we know is that someone has done a very, very significant thing. And isn't standing trial, and also will not be guilty. We will just find out if they did it, which is a baffle. So I'm going to read that bit again. Reuters says the teenager has now been, quote, assessed by psychiatrists as not fit to stand trial, end quote. And a jury will not determine if Kurtaj is guilty, but instead decide if they did or did not commit the acts. If you did not commit the act, you are not guilty. But if you did commit the act, then you are guilty. Is that not what? Yeah. So it almost seems like we're now getting to the terminology of like participation trophies. I mean, you didn't win the game, but you tried, so we'll give you a trophy for it. I mean, you're not guilty, but you did take part. So is he getting a participation sentence? I don't understand what this is. So yeah. Weird. I'll never get my head around it because I'm not that way inclined where I am smart enough for a start to go in and extort that amount of money. But I know there'll be people saying, well, it's a video game, they're going to lose some money or whatever. If it wasn't a video game, it might have been your bank, and then they're fucking with your money then because they might have taken your bank system down. Do you go to the shop, you try and pay, can't pay because the bank system's down or something along those lines? That's when it starts to become a little bit more personal and people start sitting up and taking notice. But I imagine because this is a video game, people are going, oh, it's only a video game, they'll be able to make that money back or whatever. No, it's still a business regardless of whichever way you're looking at it. They might be developing the game and selling it to someone, but ultimately they've taken something that isn't even out yet and trying to sell it or put it onto the black market because they have found a way to breach some sort of security access and trying to extort you. Yeah,
like someone robbing your dog, Graham, and then trying to get you to pay to get your dog back. That's essentially what it comes down to, but just with video games.
Exactly. A bank, its resources is cash. A jeweler's, its resources is diamond rings and necklaces and watches and so on. If he took all of those watches and bits of jewelry and stuck it on the internet and sold it, gave it away, whatever, you can't sell that sort of stuff anymore. Suddenly, they're weakening your position for that, and it doesn't always compute the same as an analogy, but a lot of it does. So yeah, completely agree. You wonder what else he's hacked and not been caught. Yeah, exactly. They're like, you don't just go to that sort of level of extreme crime without any sort of like step up to it, right? Chapter says,
I was watching a documentary the other day. I was watching a documentary the other day about the guy who jailbroken the PlayStation 3 because they'd end up doing a load of consoles beforehand, and he didn't get hired, but then Anonymous stepped in because they DDoS'd PlayStation Network for like a month. Does anyone remember that? Like 13 years ago?
Over like Christmassy sort of time. Yeah.
Yeah, like that guy was an absolute genius, but then he kept on getting reprimanded for stuff that he didn't end up doing because it was along the same lines, because he used to sell his hacks or put his hacks on the internet for people to be able to do.
George Hotz was his name.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the fella. I watched a little documentary on him. It was like 25 minutes. It was really good because there was stuff that I didn't know about him, but essentially he was just too smart to be in that field.
He did like the PS3, the iPhone, and everything. He was like...
Yeah, the iPhone, that was it. That's the other big one. Yeah, jailbreaking iPhones, like mental. Crazy guy.
Nerd. Chapper says, what I want to know, right, if his head has gone because he's about to get bungled for millions for criminal offences, and that's why? Because not being funny, it must take some mental resolve to figure out how to hack into $1 billion company for extortion. Yeah, exactly. Like, if his head's gone there, his head... It's either all... yeah, we've been over it. Of course, he needs help, but he's clearly well enough to hack into and gain information from a highly protected $1 billion company. It's not like he's gone AWOL and walked into a bank holding a BB gun. That's easy to understand. You can't accidentally hack and extort a company like Rockstar Games without a full understanding of what you're doing. Yeah, exactly. This is something that's taken place over days, weeks, and months. There is all sorts of preparation. There is planning. And then there is multiple bites at the cherry, the stages of sharing the information, attacking, getting in and getting the information. I mean, we all have used the internet. Even if you're on a very good corporate line, it will take some time to download 90-odd images and videos from a server. So even just sitting there for a couple of hours whilst he's downloading all of that stuff off of their servers, that will take time as well. So, yeah. Look, we've all been there. 1 minute you're browsing the internet, and the next minute you download terabytes of data and accidentally blackmail someone.
Oh,
I work
God.
in IT. There's no chance of accidentally stumbling across ways to get things to work. Yeah, I mean, that's how I operate. Oh, fuck, the stream works now. Let's go. I don't know why. That's why the internet shits itself all the time. It's not the internet. It's me. It's not Sky. It's me.
It's downloading terabytes of people's data.
Yeah, it's the paper clips that I've just like clipped together for like internet cables on the back. It's nice. Also, comment that jumping back. Too many brioche bun burgers, says Tito. Just want to point out for anyone in the Discord, it was in the humor and memes channel because it followed on from a meme rather than the food channel. Chappers dislikes brioche buns. I don't take that slander.
I love me.
Yeah, no, I don't take that slander. Like, don't get me wrong. He says like, Tito said, if they're toasted, they're good. If they're not, they're shit. But the same thing really applies to any bread bun on a burger. Slight tangent if you listen to this on demand. Hi, we're going to talk about burgers for a few minutes now. Like you get like an oven bottom muffin or just your general
Sheldon's,
cob roll,
always.
yeah, or you get one of the ones that I shared in the Discord is like them big fecking powdered things. I mean, I couldn't find the right image, but there's a lot of places and they must be cheap because it's always like your greasy spoons and stuff like that that'll do them. But a burger bun that's just covered in powder. It's like them powder cushions that you'll see in like French fucking makeup rooms, like poof, poof, poof. Like you're biting into one of those on a burger ahead of a brioche, and there's something wrong with you. You've probably you're this dude. You wouldn't be fit to stand trial in court if you're eating burgers on those by choice. But that said, brioche buns, like most things, you can get good ones and you can get shit ones. Tesco's brioche buns are shit. Aldi's brioche buns are actually really good. But yeah, big fan. Very soft, fluffy, with the sweet sort of glazing on the outside. I don't have time for people that say, yeah, but it's sweet. Yeah, but burgers have so many sweet things. Ketchup is full of sugar. Honey smoked glazed barbecue stuff, shitloads of sugar. All these fucking like caramelized onions and stuff. You want in the sweet and yeah. So yeah.
You're making me hungry. Stop.
Yeah. So sweet on a burger, it's that mixture of sweet and savoury, and it's just the right amount. Plus, that glazing means that the burger holds itself together. None of this powdered stuff that just disintegrates the moment you put it in your hand. Get out of it. So yeah, big fan of brioche. Shit brioche can get in the bin, just like anything else. You buy shit ones at the shit ones. You buy a good one, it's good. Also, sesame seed brioche buns. That's where you want to be.
Woo.
Anyway, back on track. Let alone backdooring something like that. Sorry, chappers, you must have been typing that in the wrong chat. Oh, no, it's your IT stuff. Sorry, mate. A hatred on a par for me and cucumbers. Exactly. Chappers proper hates them. He's like, he went in
love
on
cucumbers,
brioche.
mate.
Yeah, Tito is weird, and he hates gravy and everything, so... if he's a high-functioning autistic person, he will act normal-ish, but he never fully understands the social aspects of life. To him, it's just a game that he has the basic knowledge, working knowledge of, but doesn't turn off. Yeah, but there is absolutely nothing in here that says that, just that he's been assessed by a psychiatrist. And I don't know whether that's just like medical data or whatever, and they can't share that or something. I don't know. So that's, until that's said, that is a bit of a leap at this point. It could be. Definitely could be, but also still leap. Now I'm hungry. Hi, hungry. I'm Graham.
Brexit.
No. Okay, on that bombshell, we will move ahead to our final story of the day, which is a cool one. It's cool. This is from the team at the Gamer, written by George Foster. I was calling Foster. TMNT Shredder's Revenge DLC is a survival mode that lets you play as Shredder. Shredhead, Bebop, and Rocksteady are all playable through a new mutation system. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge upcoming Dimension Shell Shock DLC is actually a survival mode that takes you across different dimensions and lets you play as some of the game's villains through a new mutation system. I have to point out that I'm not a fan of websites that put a massive video screen playing when it's not related to the news article. Like 30% of the screen is, I don't know what it is, some survival looking game. Nothing to do with this. I know it's got a survival mode in it, but goddamn. Okay, I'll say that again. So Shredder's Revenge upcoming Dimension Shell Shock DLC is actually a survival mode that takes you across different dimensions and lets you play some of the game's villains through a new mutation system. Earlier this month, the gamer had the chance to speak to Frederick Gimus, lead designer on Shredder's Revenge, to talk about Dimension Shell Shock, the recently revealed DLC pack that adds Usagi Yojimbo among a host of new features. I don't know what that is. During the interview, we found out that Dimension Shell Shock is actually a new game mode rather than a level expansion, something that's now been fully detailed with a new trailer. Imagine not putting that trailer at the top of the article, but this fucking weird thing. As it turns out, I don't. I'm hit play on this and mute it. Dimension Shell Shock is actually a new survival mode for Shredder's Revenge that takes players across different dimensions as they defeat wave after wave of enemies. As the player fights more waves, they're able to collect crystal sheds? I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Well, I'll go with shards, or I could be wrong. Crystal shards in order to assemble dimension crystals, which can be used to go up against Shredder once enough have been collected. Players will also have to compete with, quote, extreme conditions, end quote, across over 100 combat challenges, such as strong gusts of winds and moments where there's no gravity. If the player manages to beat Shredder, then they'll be able to keep fighting enemies to try and top the leaderboards. That's not all, though, as defeating a round of enemies will reward the player with a choice between two rewards, which can contain a piece of health, more crystal shards, nice, or canisters of ooze that give the player specific power-ups, such as being able to double your damage, make yourself faster, or even turn into a boss character for some time. Tribute Games also previously teased that Dimension Shell Shock would feature several new playable characters aside from Usagi Yojimbo. I don't know what Usagi Yojimbo is. Does anyone know what Usagi Yojimbo is? Someone Google it. And it seems that the trailer revealed what it meant. Using the new mutation system, it appears that players can temporarily transform into different bosses such as Bebop, Rocksteady, and Shredder. It's not clear how many different characters can be transformed into, but that seems to be what Tribute Games meant by new playable characters. Beyond that, Tribute Games also went into a bit more detail about the multiversal areas that can be seen in the mode. Some of the areas you'll visit include Usagi Yojimbo's Edo Dimension, an 8-bit area that's clearly based on the Turtles' gaming history, and Omnichannel 6, just to name a few. Several old friends and enemies will also be showing up as you make your way through the mode to cheer your victory or applaud your defeat, which is a nice touch. Okay. Usagi Yojimbo is a comic book series created by Stan Sakai. It's set primarily at the beginning of the Edo period of Japanese history and features anthropomorphic animals replacing humans. So there you go. There you go. Did not know that. Okay, does anthropomorphic animals replacing humans and the shell shock dimension capture your attention, Bib?
If it's in Shredder's Revenge, then absolutely. Because what a game that was. I mean, we played through this and obviously Streets of Rage 4 on this channel. Fantastic beat-em-ups. It feels very timeless, this game. So it feels like, it is a completely different mode, but it genuinely feels like a different game. Like, they could have sold this as a separate game by the sounds of it. So I'm excited to see more from this. It does. I don't know whether or not it is, but it feels like a gauntlet mode where you get one life and you have to try and get as far as possible after defeating hordes and hordes of enemies. So yeah, damn right, I'm looking forward to seeing more of this. But they definitely could have sold this as a completely different game because this is one hell of a game mode that they're putting in here. Yeah,
it's not what I would have expected. Like, because Shredder's Revenge is very much like on the beaten track. You're doing the same sort of thing that you've done in Turtles games before. It's side-scrolling, beat-em-up action with bosses at the end of levels. Exactly what you'd expect. Whereas then I'm thinking DLC is either you're going to play as Shredder going through that world or Bebop going through that world or whatever. I know that kind of like weirds out the story in terms of you fighting against Shredder. They probably then have to mix that up as put someone else in as a boss for that kind of thing. Or you just take it at face value. You're doing the same thing, you've just got a different skin on. Job's good. And I thought that's where it would have gone. But like going for a completely different dimension shell shock, and having a survival mode, as they call it, I'd call it sounds more like wave mode, more like COD Zombies to me, rather than I wouldn't call that survival. I call those wave modes. I mean, obviously you call it whatever you want with your own terminology, but for me, a wave mode where you can play against different bosses, new characters, and even play as the bosses, providing you've hit the certain power-ups and stuff along the way. Interesting. Completely different take. I mean, I must admit, though, that does not interest me as much. And maybe I'm the wrong person here, because maybe I've got what I need. Can you hear the dog barking outside?
Yes.
No, he's a little fucker.
I'm mental or something.
sorry. I just shouted. No, he's still going.
He's like, fuck off, man.
So yeah, that for me probably doesn't pull me in as much as playing through. So if in an ideal world, they'd give me new characters and new missions. Like, extend the story and give me 2, 3, 4, 5 new missions, 5 new worlds, kind of stuff. That stuff pulls me in. Because I was never really a wave person, a COD zombie sort of person. So I am a little disappointed from my perspective, where like the world was so good, I'd like to have more of it. That said, it's probably going to be fun because let's face it, the game was phenomenal. Like if you like side-scrolling games and you want a modern take on it, Shredder's Revenge is about the best that you can get. If not that, Streets of Rage 4. .emu is the publisher and Tribute Games is the dev. In making TMNT Shredder's Revenge, they've made an absolute belter, so I imagine Dimension Shell Shock is going to be pretty tasty. And also, the game was on Game Pass. I don't know if it still is. It was. So does the DLC come in Game Pass, or is that something that you're going to have to add on? Maybe it does come to Game Pass a little bit later on, so it could be free to try. So, yeah.
Definitely worth your time.
Absolutely. Speaking of time, we are out of it.
No.
I know. So the stories that we've gone over today, if you are late into the show, I can give you a little bit of a recap. We spoke about Microsoft announces a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. COD will stay on PlayStation. Or will it? Yes, it will. But will everything? Yes, probably, maybe, potentially ish, unless the prophets say otherwise. So, yeah, there is a binding agreement. We don't know how long, what for, whether it includes extra additional games or content or modes or whatever, but for now Call of Duty will be staying on PlayStation. I mean, the next game is due out in 2 months, probably, maybe 3, so that's not going to change. That will happen. If there's going to be changes, we might start seeing it for next year or the year after, but for now PlayStation fans are going to have to worry about Call of Duty stays on PlayStation. As part of that, Microsoft is reportedly looking at selling some of its cloud gaming rights, and that is to appease the CMA. So in the UK, they may establish a separate subsidiary company that just sells Game Pass to platforms. So basically, Microsoft sells their services to themselves, but then in doing that, probably sells them to GeForce Now, PlayStation, and whoever. After that, we spoke about the Grand Theft Auto 6 hacker being an absolute snowflake. No, he's unfit to stand trial. Doesn't want to, reap what he sowed, which is unfortunate for him because I'd love to be able to extort loads of people and not have to feel the costs of that. But it is what it is, that's just what society wants. Nah, we don't know. We don't have the details, so we can only draw conclusions. They might be
guilty.
Yeah. No, not guilty. Did it? There's differences apparently. Don't know what it was, but anyway. After that, then we spoke about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge DLC, Dimension Shell Shock, bringing a fresh new approach as well as fresh new characters to Turtles gameplay. So if you want to get involved in that, feel free to do so. I don't know, did it say when it's coming out? It didn't. So at some point. Nice. Everyone was getting hungry. Sorry, I apologise. I'm actually really hungry as well, so I'm going to go get myself a nice brioche burger with some stuff. Milo's going full ham burger. Yes, exactly. He is. He's still back at it. I don't know if you heard him just a second ago. Going for it again. He's absolute little man syndrome. He's tiny but thinks he's an absolute unit. He's not. But bless him. So how does that work with the Turtles, considering that the game uses the OG cartoons logic that they are human teens turned into turtles by the use? So does Usagi Yojimbo face or team up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ninja Humans in his reality? I mean, I don't know actually. I couldn't tell you that they were human teens. I thought they were little turtles that grew like the film kind of stuff. I didn't actually. I don't know. I don't know what timeline or story Shredder's Revenge runs off. I just assumed turtles that got bigger with ooze, but I don't know. All I can hope is they stick the older ones on Game Pass. That'd be the biggest debut of the year from a COD perspective. Like they've been reworking all the lobbies, haven't they? Me and Bibby were talking about this last Thursday in the office. I think it might have even been Chappers shared it in the Discord as well. So they've been reworking the games. I wouldn't be surprised if they come back. The only thing that stops them coming back for me is the idea of doing it again. So when we got Modern Warfare Remastered, phenomenal game by the way, fucking Regal sniper skin on that because I smashed that bad boy. There was talk of Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. And then there was talk of, there's difficult, they were going to bring it out, but then they're not. And then we got Modern Warfare 2 lobbies opened back up again, but they were a bit patchy and shit and stuff. So people are like, well, the fact that they've opened it back up again means that it's not going to get remastered and so on. And now all of the games have been opened back up again with improved netcode, which is seeing lobbies fill back up again. So is that just a clean slate blanket look at how good everything is on Microsoft, which then sets up, okay, we want a remake? I don't know. So I don't know which way that could go. I would absolutely love to see Modern Warfare 2 remade. Not remastered, but remade. Fucking give me the rooftop, like, what was it called? High Rise or whatever it was called, something like that. Fucking yeah. Yes, please. Yes.
This is genuinely, though, because I've seen Chappers post a picture that he's downloaded Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2 again.
Yeah.
I have got my Xbox 360 underneath this desk. Do I bring it back out and stick it on here because it's the only place I've got for it? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
I mean, I'll whip out my Xbox 360 Modern Warfare 2 and my my gameplay guide that I've got under the desk in the office. Yeah, I don't mind.
I can't believe Flynn thought it was a giant disc.
An old school, like the big box PC game sort of stuff. Let's go.
Yeah, we used to play games back on vinyl though, back in the day.
Yeah. Bless him. Milo wants a burger. Milo always wants a burger. And then whatever. He's a big fan of food, aren't we all? I'm getting 2 cats here for over a week. Nice. Why? You need to give us details. Why are you getting 2 cats? What are they called? Are they big cats? Are they little cats? Are they kittens? Are you keeping them? Are you cat sitting? What's the story? Give me the details. Put your discs in your Xbox Series.
I have an S, so mine's discless.
It sounded like it was a threat that, like, shove it up you. Put your discs in your Xbox Series. I think Enix is proper threatening you there. Honestly,
I think so too.
Rip.
But I mean, it still works on it. It'll still work on the Xbox 360 because the servers are still live on it. So I'm not too worried.
Okay, now this is where we get the language barrier. So is that Isla and Uzva or Isla and Uzva? I've probably butchered them all either way. So. Cats, nice. Basic home cats, my work friend's going to it. Enjoy the cats. It's always nice to have a little bit of company until they pee on your bed. But still, here's what it is. Cappy smells, I know. On that bombshell, we're going to wrap things up. We appreciate everyone that stuck around. Do feel free to join us again. Hopefully tomorrow we can bring you a scoop. Just a reminder, though, that Tuesdays and Thursdays, at this time of year, we've got some work events that we're planning for, plus industry events like Gamescom, which we're planning for. So Tuesdays and Thursdays can be a little bit write-offish. Do you know what? I'm actually just going to jump ahead and say there won't be a scoop tomorrow because I know that we've got a long call in the afternoon and one in the morning as well. So unlikely to be a scoop tomorrow. Thursday, more likely, but we'll see how we go. So join us potentially on Wednesday as well, and then on Friday, if not Thursday. And then also Saturday for some PUBG, Sunday for some Fortnite. Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Oh.
Nah, no. So yeah, do feel free to join us. There's a lot of content potentially coming this week, even if we can't bring you the scoopage. Actually, I forgot Wednesday evening as well, PUBG as well. Chasing crits with mates. The boyos, mate. Stuck around. I just got here. Now you were here all along. I saw you. Uzva means fog. What does Isla, what does that mean? Rain? Sunshine?
Thunder! Did you wait for thunder this morning, by the way?
Yeah,
thunder and lightning.
Absolute bouncing it down here for like 20 minutes. Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah. Do you know what is mental? The fact that we've got all of that content coming, but even before that, Bibby's got stuff to add.
Are you? No. There you go. We now confirmed that there will be 3 shows remaining for the rest of the week. So if you want to help shape any of those remaining 3 shows, very much like Tito did today, there's 2 ways you could do so. First of all, find us on social media. It says at Ice Cream World across all major social media platforms. Or alternatively, get involved with our Discord. If you're watching this on any of our on-demand services, thank you very much. But all the links that you require will be listed in the description below. All we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and opinions. We will then give you our thoughts and opinions on the very next show, which will be at what day and time this week, Mr. Graham Day.
No idea.
Whenever we go live.
Yeah, probably 10 a.m.-ish, maybe Wednesday. Very committal.
You love to see it.
Nice. So yeah, 10 a.m.-ish Wednesday, we should be back with the next episode of The Scoop. Highly unlikely that we'll have an episode of The Scoop tomorrow because of work stuff, but that's just what it is. We do work in the video games industry, so we have meetings. We do video game stuff. That's why we bring you The Scoop, because we like to talk about the news, but sometimes the news actually gets in the way of stuff. That's just life. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what? If you want us to bring you a scoop each and every single weekday, then if you know someone that's a big sugar daddy out there, then feel free to go and tell them to drop in. 1 million subs a week will probably be just enough to pay for Bibby's Lambos and get you 5 days of content. We'll see. Give or take.
Who knows?
Yeah. For now, though, do feel free to stick around. We will drop a raid on one of our friends. I can see we've got... Do you know what? We'll go say hi to Spidge, because Spidge dropped in on the weekend and got involved with some PUBG action. He got first place on the Double Trouble League leaderboard for like a game, and then Tank took it away from him. But he did have 2 games. He was supporting his early doors. You love to see that. So we'll drop it on Spitch. Feel free to stay around as we jump in and say hi there. We are going to disappear and do some stuff, proper stuff, work things. And I advise you guys to do the same, or watch Spitch, whatever it's up to you. Whatever you do, though, have yourselves a fantastic day. And until next time, stay fast.